principle about different kinds of intelligence as defined by the Shastras, that too much material intelligence is demonic. Actual intelligence means to distinguish matter from spirit, you see. So if when a person comes to the stage of understanding that I'm not this body, then he will think, what is good for my spiritual advancement? What is good for the purification of my soul? And what is not good? What should I leave aside? This is intelligence. So how many are doing this? So that's why I asked. I mean, I kind of expected that Maharaj would be not favoring allopathic medicine. So that's good. Not that allopathic medicine doesn't have some use, but overall it's dangerous and destructive. Many people go to a doctor for some ordinary complaint and they end up close to death by being referred for this test and that procedure and this hospitalization, and just in like a growing.
Issued one advisory for Indian Medical Association. 2 days ago they issued advisory, don't use antibiotics for simple cough, cold and fever.
Oh, today what?
Can someone say? Indian Medical Association.
Indian Medical Association.
They announced that don't use antibiotics for fever, cold and cough. Hospitals have been using. Just 2 days.
Fever, cold and cough.
Influenza.
Well, I mean, I get the point, your point, but I don't know about their instruction, because in some cases the fever and cough is due to bacteria, because people's lifestyle is unnatural and they have many artificial organisms entering the body. So to make a blanket statement like that, no, it sounds, it may be, it has to be analyzed. The idea I approve of course.
Looks like they are overusing it.
Huh?
Looks like they are overusing it.
That's another thing, overusing. But the problem is that because of ugra karma, demonic activity, the environment is all polluted, so nature is not in balance. I mean, it's thrown out of balance, at least wherever humans live in densely. So even you know, good ideas, good principles, like what you say, become not appropriate. Each case has to be separately analyzed. So where are the doctors? Because they're happy because if people follow what I'm suggesting, then there'll be more doctor visits, and the doctors will have plenty of income, and they'll have enough cases that they'll say require further investigation and further procedures, and they go to the hospital. So there's no shortage. Because society as a whole is so generally disturbed, and mixtures of all different kinds of levels of consciousness, mostly tamas and rajas. So, what is that? Oh, I thought it sounded like dripping water. So, this is we should come to understand these things, and in the history of the Krishna consciousness movement in the West, at least, those who listen to the devotees, listen to Prabhupada himself, read the books, they have come to understand to a considerable extent the actual situation. But now it has become so, as time progresses, because the world is predominantly, being that it's Kali Yuga, the world is predominantly in tamas and rajas gun, then even this theoretical understanding or practical understanding by one individual or a few individuals does not necessarily protect them, because in simple language, the demons are becoming too much. You see, they're threatening you that if you don't get this injection, you'll be arrested and penalized, fined, and so many demonic actions against the people themselves. We see that the politicians, the leaders, because of financial interests, they're so corrupt. They whatever they speak is lies, and people are bound to suffer, and they're suffering. I don't want to dwell on this, but the American president is under the influence of some globalists who are atheists, who want to destroy whatever that section of American society that actually has some intelligence. They want to destroy that. So how to do that? Destroy the whole society, bring some uncultured people in huge numbers. So they've opened the border from Mexico. Of course, not all Mexicans are uncultured, but to a large extent they're less cultured, and they in their habits, and the criminal elements are more prominent there, mafia type, and they're coming in and bringing drugs and disease, and they're getting entitlement to free medical care, or not free, go to the hospital. So I read one hospital, they have spent $2.5 million. They have $2.5 million unpaid bills treating Mexicans who have come with their diseases and their pregnancies and their all problems. And that's only beginning. So the person speaking about this is the sheriff of one town. Sheriff means like the chief of police. But some American history, they wear like military uniform, like police uniform, but they wear a big hat. So he's sitting here, big man, and he says, so now this problem is in our backyard, in our front, it's going to come in your front yard, talking to the rest of America. That they're going, the government is giving them tickets to go to New York, to Chicago, to here and there. And this is deliberate on the part of the government to destroy American society, so that no one will have the intellectual ability to complain or do anything. And the idea is to destroy what is left of religion and good thing and goodness. This is the demon's plan. So you give me a report tomorrow. How many people queued up in front of the American U.S. consulate? They still want to go. They don't know, because you don't find these things in the newspaper. You have to know, you have to subscribe to a little enlightened news network on the internet. So Maya is advancing her purposes, and intelligence and thoughtfulness and sattvic is practically no sattva. It is becoming degraded, diminished. And it's affecting India. Not that Indians are sticking their tradition. No, as I said, how many young people, they're trained in IT, and they have the invitations to go to the West. The companies are inviting, and they're queuing to get permits to go to the West, completely in ignorance. So, and they in turn, they influence their older parents, who are already influenced enough by television and by different media, to give up Vedic practices. And they're becoming malechas. Malecha means outside the Vedic system. So what is our position, you see? You are coming, and it's nice participating, but how do I know all these things? By hearing mostly. Not that I never had a situation appropriate to reading books. Temple commanders were always there. Hey, Rasananda, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? I never found that. Whatever I'm speaking, whatever these basic things or details too that I'm speaking, I heard them mostly. I heard them, and I've seen by practical observation, and that not verification, the verification that these things are in fact the way, in that way. So what is the solution? It's very nice that we go out and do kirtan, and in this little neighborhood we're having some influence. It's very nice. And but really not enough influence. One or two people come occasionally by just seeing you. Hardly. Those two ladies from Uh, one is from Seattle and the other one from Toronto. They have not coming anymore.
She was there for Kirtan.
Oh, you saw them?
Yeah.
But they're not coming?
One lady was there for Sankirtan.
Oh. She joined you?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Seattle.
Huh?
Mataji was there, but I'm not sure why she...
And they are practically the only ones. We've been conducting these programs for a year, more than a year.
Yes.
And they're practically the only ones that have come. But they're not here now. So the injunction is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, 2 days is his appearance day. He has said, what is the first principle necessary to be followed by someone who wants to enter spiritual life and spiritual practice? What is that principle? It's Asat Sang Tyag. I should have asked somebody to say it before I said it, but did anybody think? He said, Asat Sang Tyag E Vaishnavachar. The first characteristic of a Vaishnav is that he avoids the association of people who are asat, who are in Maya, who are on the material platform. Maybe in Maya we try to help them out of Maya by kirtan and offer books. But beyond that, we cannot do. So we have to avoid. If you keep company with them, you become contaminated. So this principle, I think we should, you can make a sign, type it out and make a flex and put it on your wall. Asat Sang Tyag E Vaishnavachar. You're looking very serious, but you're not agreeing. Why don't you do it? You can sell them. I don't know if the... no, that's not... not commercialize it. But that's... principle is so important. Just like we have to take bath and brush our teeth, otherwise we'll get sick. And similarly, we have to avoid bad association, otherwise we lose our consciousness, Krishna consciousness. That's the healthy condition of the jiva is to be Krishna conscious. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said also, Jiva Swarupa Nityar Krishna Das. The Swarup of the Jiva is Krishna consciousness. And Krishna consciousness means Sat Chit Ananda, knowledge and happiness and everlasting. Okay? So this is the actual goal of life. Very few people understand and are following. So if you understand at least part of the day then you have to be serious about following. You have to practice this. You have to avoid bad association. That means even your school friends, so-called friends, who is actually a friend? Huh?
Suhridam sarva bhutanam.
Yes. Surid means there's two kinds of friends. One is Surid, the other is there's in Krishna's Leela. What is the other kind of friend? Krishna has different friends. Surid, but the friend in our situation means someone who is our well-wisher, and he gives us a good instruction. Even he may not be on the highest platform. So if your so-called friends are not interested at all in your habits and your Krishna consciousness, and then you should give them up. Friendship that consists just of mutual enjoyment of the senses, that's not real friendship. There's the material senses. So the process of Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada has referred to as like boiling milk. It's an ongoing process, and it refers to collective situation as well as individual. Individual means we analyze our actions and give up bad habits. Confirmed. And collectively we get on our friend's case. Look, you should not do that. You should not. This is not good. I know we're friends for a long time, and you do, but it's not good actually. That is collective boiling of the milk. So then, individually and collectively, we become better. You know, like thick milk is better than thin milk. I had what is it, A2 buffalo milk the other day. It was so thick. I've never had milk like that before. I've never heard of A2 buffalo milk. But at your house, this was very sweet, naturally, and very nourishing. So like that, we have to boil the milk by practicing ourselves and by obliging our associates, our friends, to also take up certain practices. And if they don't, we should be cautious about associating with them, because they will just drain our, they will destroy the result of our efforts. There's if you allow milk to become too dilute, then I don't know, but Prabhupada says, and you drink it, even though there's no bacteria in it, you'll get diarrhea, isn't it? You drink too watery milk. So similarly, if we don't pay attention to our spiritual practices, we'll go back to the material disease condition, material thinking, material action. So, I don't know how long I've been talking. I think it's
5 minutes.
5 minutes more. Is there any questions or comments? We have to use our intelligence I've spoken about how to deal with friends and school friends and other friends, and about the greater society, how the leaders, how they're being so much under the influence of demonic agencies, and how they tell lies, and how they're. So we have to use our intelligence. We have to actually analyze things according, based on this spiritual understandings. Not just we worship the deity. That should also not be a ritual. That is practicing actually the highest level of relationship with the Lord, but we're not at that level, so it's only practice. We only spend limited time on worshiping the deity. The rest of the time, some time for maintenance, bodily maintenance, and as far as Krishna conscious activity, we have to analyze our actions, analyze our thinking. I'm thinking like this. What does Bhagavad Gita say? I'm thinking that this person is nice man. What does Bhagavad Gita say? On what basis do we say he's a nice man? What is a nice man? We don't see that phrase in the Shastra, nice man. We see Rajasic, Tamasic, or Sattvic, or Suddha Sattvic. We don't see nice man. What is a nice man? What is a nice man? He may be a big cheater, so we have to develop the habits of observing. See, somebody's mudras. I'm looking, everybody's hands are moving. See?
Mosquitoes, bro.
Huh?
Those are because of mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes.
No, that kind of movement okay, but what is that? It means your mind, you're sitting there, big sadhu, listening to pravachan, but your mind is saying, hey, come on, move, enjoy, and the fingers are moving, and see. So we have to use our intelligence.